What's your thoughts about Luce Cannon and the rumors about him, getting knocked out in jail and stuff like that? You think there's any truth to that? And what do you
So,
think?
so look, so look, I got a book coming out. It's called My Stupid Man with the Stupid Plan book, and I'm gonna have 10 chapters. The book gonna come in different editions. The first edition is gonna have 10 morons in it. The first 4 chapters is all Luce Cannon. You feel me? Luce Cannon, he might be the whole book because I can name situation after situation where this guy is just being a straight idiot. Why are you calling from a federal prison threatening niggas over the phone? Have you ever seen anything like that?
I never seen that.
He is on a federal line threatening whack, threatening niggas' lives. What are he gonna do when he see people before he is going into court?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's for the content or something. I don't know. I don't know.
But I just think fool an idiot, bro. I feel like we all know somebody who's a moron. You feel me? But he just take the cake for next level fucking smoothie. He's a straight clown. I never seen nothing like him before. The man Luce Cannon, that story of him getting whooped is true though. But it was he was telling people he was 32, but the man is 43.
Mm,
He was 43 going up in that fight with them 20-year-olds. It's not gonna be good all the time, bro.
no.
It's not gonna be good. You feel me? He got them young them young guys. So he throwing hands with one of the Hoover guys. And shit, he caught Luce. Luce dropped, he popped back up, but he couldn't never recover all the way. So he got dropped a couple more times, and then niggas called it off. So, if any of y'all see this, I'm trying to put some money on them Hoover guys' books, you feel me, who rolled them about the spot. So if y'all see this, tap in with your boy. I'm trying to support the guys who put hands and feet on a goofy Luce Cannon for them.
Right. Speaking of Hoover, think there's I know there's the Hoover indictment for the sex trafficking. Ooh, yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna say this. My perspective on sex trafficking, sex slavery, oppression of children and women will never not be will never not change, will never change from what it is now. I can never condone anybody enslaving a minor to use them to sell sex and bring you all of the profit. Never condone that. Nevertheless, when you dealing with LA, when you dealing with this pimp and the pimp with the P and the pimp and hoe, the whole dynamic, things get murky, things get tricky because that's more of a business decision that those two people have made with each other. It started with a trauma bond, which people can look this up. It starts with a trauma bonding, and then, most of them call it the game. So they're sticking by rules of this shit. So that's why we don't even take them type of calls because it's never the sex worker that's gonna call you in those situations. It's the dad, it's the mom, it's the sister. They call you about, oh, she done went back outside on the street. I want to get her back. She's made that choice. Like she's not being held against her will. You feel me? Like that's what she wants to do. Whether or not it's beneficial for her or not, she made that choice. Now, one of the ways that they do this bullshit is, we think the Dyke built dude, his name Popcorn. from Black P Stones who was fighting the little girl out there on the street.
Yeah, we saw him.
Yeah, like dudes like that. If we catch him, you know we doing them bogus. You feel me? I ain't gonna lie
Right.
to you. You know, the dudes like that, you gotta have their feet pointed out to the sky, bro, because you did this on camera, like that's a little ass girl. You feel me? Like, you know, you peel his fingernails off and shit like that, let him holler for a little while. And, you know, because you have to reprimand people for doing this bullshit. That's the problem in our community. We don't reprimand nobody no more. Everybody can just do some bullshit and then it's just whatever. So I think it's disgusting. And if he ever get out, I definitely need a fade with him just for knowing about this. So if niggas can set that up, cause well, I hate niggas who do that shit to kids, bro. Cause when you know a child, a child is way different from an adult, bro. Taking advantage of a kid is just low life shit. Like it's just low life shit. I hate niggas like that. I am hoping they pass this new law where if you commit certain crimes, you get automatic castration. That chemical castration, we need that. I feel like that will
Facts.
slow down a lot.
Facts.
That, that will slow down a lot. The motherfuckers know, man, if I take this risk right here and I get caught, they gonna cut off my faucet forever. Damn! Damn! Well, that motherfucker never getting hard again. Bro, Greg, pause. Yeah, yeah, that shit. I want to see
Yeah,
that
it was
happen.
slow. That will slow a lot of predators down, boy.
What?
You could keep them in the
Fool.
house on the internet. That's it.
Man, it don't matter how many times you jerk that motherfucker, nothing finna happen.
You gonna shoot yourself in the head, though.
Bro,
You ain't gonna
yeah, we're gonna see a
lie.
lot of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of that. Niggas gonna be charging themselves to the game.
no facts.
Man, I know a couple
Um,
of definitely check. They can't get no action, they finna check. Free the guys. Free the ghoulies. Shout out real life.
Lady Duck, she's the like I guess the mastermind behind the whole thing. Like, what's your thoughts on that? She's like a small statured stud or something. I don't know,
So
but like,
she king of the dikes. You feel me? So like
yeah,
ever so often you see somebody like that. You feel me? That's king of the dikes, bro, and they be vicious. Cause I always tell people this, bro. Like ladies can they brains process a lot more information than we do. Simply because after a while, as a man, our thought process started to slow down as we fade into the night. You feel me? For them, they remember how you was walking different early this morning, and they finna confront you about it later on that night. And we all have been through it,
right.
where if it's something they care about, they can almost be disillusioned about it. You feel me? Like so, in that situation, she showed some critical character traits that you know definitely can be somebody who's gonna have a following. It can be alarming. You feel me? First things first, she's got charisma. You feel me? Secondly, she's a small built lady. You feel me? But she takes her image seriously, and she's able to get people to move on her behalf. So she automatically knew if I want to have this money, if I want to have this muscle, I need to have this money. And with this whole girls kissing girls thing going on, you feel me? She could get in relationships with at-risk youths, brand them with her name, and she put together an enterprise. She had a lot of respect in that area, and at the end of the day, all of these gang groups, all of these different groups, Crips, Bloods, was started in the '70s by 13 and 14-year-olds, right or wrong.
Right, right.
That's facts, and it shows in the outcome of its destructive forces destructive nature in the community because I was out in Thailand, doing some shit. I was talking to some guys who were triads. They got rules. You feel me? They can't sell drugs in their neighborhood in their area. You feel me? They can't. They don't recruit prostitutes from in their neighborhoods in their areas. They do everything on the outside. So is it right? No, but the world can't seem to perpetuate without evil, and these people are contributors to it. You feel me? I stay out there pimping and whole shit because one time I got maced before. I got maced by a prostitute over her goddamn pimp who
Mm.
he had just blacked her eye, and she had a huge big knot on her head. Looked like Martin from that episode. He was fighting the boxer. Like
Mm.
damn. And shit, we intervening, and she maced me. I'm looking like, shorty, I love him. That shit pissed me off. So I said, you know what? Okay, this is what this shit is. Um, yeah, that's a whole different dynamic. That's like the biggest finesse in history. That's like the biggest finesse in history. It's really just slavery. You feel me? It's just slavery, and it's like, damn, I hate. I guess it's the Anunnaki who showed humans about slavery because they made us to be a slave race for them, and then we rebelled, and then everyone seems to see like, damn, human beings must be a resource on this planet to somebody because they using human beings to be a resource amongst other humans. So it's just kind of like an ever expanding and changing dimension of oppression, which seems carefully engineered to me. Yeah, that's why I'm at with it right now.
When you used to go like on the retrievals, did you see like people when you rescue them or whatever they be like branded like Lady Duck? All her females had her Lady Duck on them. Like, did you see that a lot?
Man, we saw. Don't you know the brand they use on cattle?
Yeah.
We seen that just way smaller. We seen that on a lot of little females that was coming over illegally from Mexico. I guess they was coming from like other countries in South America. We seen a lot of that. Like the tattoo thing. We ain't really like the tattoos. Mostly are going on the males that are part of different groups. They use a physical, actual brand like
With the
you would
fire.
with the fire on them
Oh,
on
yeah.
them, which is oh man, that's just crazy. Like, why would you want to do that to somebody? Like, yeah, like the most treacherous I ever seen was being down in Mexico in that area. You go down there, boy. You go to certain villages. It's no men at all. Like everybody's been a narco and is dead. Like you feel me? And you see stories about how motherfuckers they down there raping grandmothers. Like you feel now. If you go down to certain areas, if you go to the club with your girl, they will approach you and say, "We want to buy your girl."
Damn.
That's happening now. You feel me? That's happening now, right now. You feel me? For sure. Because it was a little story about how a black girl went down to Mexico with her friends and she ended up dying. The truth behind that is they got her down there. Two of them had plotted. They was going to sell her to the cartel niggas. And the shit went sideways. She ended up getting killed. You feel me? So watch out for that back door down in Mexico because that shit is real deal. Facts.
Yeah. They got a lot of movies on it too, so you've been warned, right?
Now, see, that's the thing, brother. Them movies, it's always bits of truth in all of these films, for sure, for sure.
Right. How do you feel about Trump sending the National Guard to Chicago?
Mm. This is very interesting to me because something has to happen. Because you know, this is the most hyper advanced city in the States. Everybody resorts to violence for the smallest altercation, disagreement. You gotta have law and order. Problem is, I remember being in certain situations, and the last thing we was thinking about was pulling over. Right? Then they pretty much got rid of the whole bond system. You feel me? So everybody gets a I bond or own recognizance release now. I just seen guys get caught with switches 4 times. Get out each time. Then once you get an armed habitual, what's that, 11, 13 years, that 50%, you back in 5 years. You back in 4.5 years and you got time served. Everything has been transactional. They turned everything into a business. This is the problem with this system. Studies showed that, let's say a billionaire guy comes out and just decides to pay everybody's legal fees. This would make the system crash because they say it's not even enough lawyers to represent people on each side. Everything has been turned into like the ant farm feeding system for what? Another trafficking organization, which is these prisons, these private prisons. It's no coincidence that inside of these prisons, the same way Chicago public schools look. You go everywhere based off a bell or a siren. Same way in these schools. And they aren't teaching tradecraft, they're teaching memorization. Soon as you ask an ID inmate his ID number, they give you this long ID number, all memorization. The program is falling. Something has to be done. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that armed forces and National Guard began with instant shoot to kill orders. That's going to be interesting. You feel me? The murder rate there just too high. But you got 40, 50 people getting shot in a weekend. Something's got to be done. It worked. It worked real well down in D.C. Looked like it worked well to me. You feel me? Because when you look at the whole grand scheme of things, when I'm traveling around different countries, these governments, when they go into these areas where there are ongoing feuds going on, they call them blood feuds. They have certain allocated resources to typically intervene into these blood feuds to get peace. Because oftentimes, the lex talionis, which means eye for an eye, that is what the law system is being used for. That's what the law system that the locals are going to go by, eye for an eye. We've seen President Trump enter into several areas across the world and get countries to agree to no longer be at war. How would he look as the commander in chief if he did, in fact, not show up here and try to do something? And any opportunity he has to throw shit on Obama, he's going to do it. Look, I showed up to Obama's homeland. I got these guys to end the gang wars. Obama couldn't do that. So you got to keep these things in mind. What's the true motivations? I can't hear you. Yo.
No, you. I'm sure.
Oh,
You
okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. Right. Um. OTF Boona gets he duct tapes a man and he executes him. I what do you think when you see something like that?
I'm going to give a Dugard quote on this one. Uh, Certain people need to stay out the streets because that's what they made sidewalks for, right? Because if this is truly your culture, your belief system, the street shit, rules apply and rules are needed. We always had rules growing up. Some of those rules was you never take shooters when you're going to go take something. Because, we don't steal, we take. We gonna take something from you, you gonna know who took it from you, and we ain't doing no petty theft. If it's valuable enough, you don't deserve it, it's getting took from you. Simple as that. Whatever the repercussions are of that, it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, I should say. Problem is, you took whoever took him on this robbery. Obviously, what he's good at is shooting, because to be a good taker crew, the only way you gonna go a long stretch without getting caught is if you keep the violence to a minimum.
Right.
Point blank period. Point blank period. His decision making. This is the thing, bro. Like, guys be emotionally charged. They fight an inner zest monster, personality traits. They all Percocets, lean, weed, drugs. Where's your mental state at? You know what I'm saying? If this man is tied up, he got frustrated. He didn't know how to pull information out of somebody without using brute force. You feel me? He didn't have his toolbox when it was time to get violent. He didn't have many violent tools. All he had was his feet, his hands, and that gun. And he got to pay the consequences for that. So let this be a lesson to all of the guys watching this. There are no Glocks, no guns, no drums in that jail, my boy. You're gonna be in there balling up, bro, grave. So keep that in mind, bro. This shit nonsense, bro. He done took this man life, tied him up. He was already tied up. So this lets you know he didn't go in there with a mask on. You feel me? So they going in there with no mask, tied people up. They didn't watch too many movies, man. Circumstantial evidence, phone records. Everybody got a ring camera. And these guys be having dreadlocks, bro. Like, everywhere you go, you can drop some dread hair. I don't care what nobody say. All it takes is the right forensic investigative team to show up someplace, and they can find a strand of hair, run it through the convicted felon system they got DNA samples from, and bang, they put you at the scene of the crime. That's how the world is working, bro. And when AI comes, when AI fully is full fledged, it's gonna be hard to get away with crime for sure, for sure.
Right. Yeah, they're gonna have to make robots doing all the killing now. that's
So
that's
look, so you see, certain universities to combat active shooters are all purchasing these armed, militarized kill drones. If you got a mass shooter, they can hit the button. The drones dispatch. They are equipped with firearms on the drone. They finna come nail your way. They call it a real airstrike on you, on the gas. That's what's going on. It's coming, man. AI is about to crush the middle class, bro. People need to go into HVAC, they need to go into electrician work, electrical work, because AI needs so much electricity, and it needs AC to keep cool to power it. Those sectors are gonna boom. People have to reskill, but the middle class is going to get crushed. There's no way around it. Another reason why I came over here to Africa, because they consider it witchcraft. That it's gonna hit here a lot less. It's gonna be a lot less impactful when it hits here, and it's gonna take a lot longer. So, you know, I want to see it being used to empower humanity instead of making us obsolete. Because the average 9 to 5 worker has a job that a robot can do. They have Chinese factories that are operating completely in the dark. Everything is being built by these robots, solar powered buildings. They have the lights, there's no lights on in the building. Robots don't need light to work. Robots don't have kids. Robots don't got to take a break. Robots don't smoke cigarettes. Robots don't get sick. You see what I'm saying? Robots don't need housing. Robots don't have to go home. The robot can stay right there on the premises. This is another reason why we seen Trump with his tariff war to make these big companies put factories here in the United States of America to make there be a boom of jobs, simply because if we continue to outsource all of our labor workers, and then the laws against AI are going to be a lot weaker in these other countries. They don't care what they do with people. If it's up to them, all of their workers would indeed be robot workers. So a lot of false narratives are being painted. You see what I'm saying? They say the world overpopulated, but you got several countries that are paying people to come there and have children. Truth is, the birth rate is on a decline in certain DNA strands on this planet. 100,000 years ago, something happened, man. 100,000 years ago, something happened. Humans was able to outcompete 6 other humanoid species on this planet. 7,000 years ago, the white human arrived here, and they traced the location to somewhere in Scandinavia. You know, we got to start to really look at the grand scheme of things if we want a chance to try to have a future for our children's children, I should say, because it's looking ugly right now. But I'm remaining optimistic, Rook. Shout out Real Life Street Stars for sure.
We had Do or Die on the platform, right?
Shout out Do or Die. For sure. What they was on?
I, they was real cool, bro. I was asking them about you know, the history of Chicago and things like that, and um, yeah, he was just telling me about like Chicago's always been that way. The internet just made it real famous.
The onset of the internet definitely put a spotlight on things that was already deeply entrenched and taking place in Chicago for sure, bro. Like it's been the same way since I was a kid. It's just that there's completely no structure now. So things you would have to get permission for, like you don't got to get the permission no more. That's what led to the chaos. You feel me? Once all leadership structures were removed, and then we seen the children of the crack babies overpopulate the street. That's what led to what it is now. You feel me? Because we ain't have no Snapchat on our phone. We had flip phones and Nextel chirps and shit like that.
Right.
We don't have that. It's just a whole big cultural difference. One of my homies called me, and I'm with my homegirl, and I was like, "All right, boy, stay dangerous." She says, "What? Why would you tell him to stay dangerous? He needs to stay safe." I'm like, "Sweetheart, I'm from America." You feel me? Like, I'm from America. It's a whole different ball game. Like, I haven't heard outside of that war zone area I was in. I haven't heard a gunshot. I haven't needed a gun, and that's just a sobering feeling because, bro, my ex used to say I'm trifling how I sleep with that rifle, and it's just like, bro, you just want to give yourself a chance to win, and it's like I feel like we brought up in this culture like these people have no idea. Like over here, they have no idea about our cultural norms. It just don't exist, bro. And it's wild to see. Like people here that stay dangerous and be outraged by it, bro. Grave, outraged by it, and it's just like we over here staying dangerous, and they got a sign by the beach that warns you about the danger of mermaids. Fucking crazy. It's crazy. Just think about that. While you right there in Texas, and we just had a conversation like, man, if somebody pull up to your crib, you killing them. Bro, they got a sign over here that warns you about being at the edge of the water too late at night because of mermaids will get your motherfucking ass. So it's a lot of things. We up against a lot right now, man.
We up against a lot.
We up against a lot, bro. Straight up. I got another food drive coming up too, man. I want y'all to help out with that because it's a lot of big artists over here, and they following me. You feel me? And you know, the Kenyan people and Africans support Africans majorly, majorly. So like, man, man, that's a whole other market for y'all to get into, bro. Cause, bro, it's Africa is huge, bro. This continent is. You can fit all of America in the Sahara Desert alone. Think about that, and that's one small part of the continent. So man, we going into a real another war zone, and we're gonna be feeding the orphans, bro. So it's going down right now, Rook.
Man, I see it. I see it for sure, man. I appreciate what you're doing out there, for real, for real.
Man, bro, man, it's got to be done, bro. It's got to be done. You know, I get so many messages every day. People telling me like I meet people who cry real tears, like just knowing, not telling me, just knowing that me and the team exists gave them hope because, you know, it's said that 41% of women experience interdating violence, which is crazy work. You feel me? So it's kind of like, you know, I meet with rape victims all the time, and that pain in their eyes is like, man, you know, I'm going to say something right now. One of the biggest dangers to this business is the fact that uh, oftentimes ladies will save their money so they can get some form of retribution,
Right.
right? And I'll say probably in 90% of those cases, once they discover that this service works, they usually have another situation and they instantly increase the level of violence they want done. That's probably the downside to this because, you know, you can see it in their eyes. Like when their eyebrows stand up and right hand between it wrinkle up a little bit and they might perspire a little bit. You may see a little shininess at the hairline. That's a telltale sign that somebody is experiencing a adrenaline rush or euphoric moment thinking about violence against themselves or somebody else. So I'm seeing a lot of that going on right now. So it's kind of like I'm trying to keep a low profile best I can, but you know I'm gonna continue living my purpose, bro. I feel like it's what I was supposed to do, and it's working for me and it's working for others. So whatever it's gonna be straight up.
Mm. I want to ask you about another subject. The dancing boys of Afghanistan.
Whoo! All right. Now, peep this, bro. I want to speak about this because this is why the deep state Democrats had to get out of power. Check this out. Two special forces guys are in Afghanistan training Afghan police and military, right? One of the sergeants kidnaps a boy from a village, rapes the boy for days at a time. Two special forces soldiers catch him, confront him, kick his ass. They get arrested, locked up in the brig, and almost lose their whole military career, risk getting dishonorably discharged with no benefits because they interfere with local practices and customs. The dancing boys of Afghanistan is something that needs to be outlawed. The the ramifications, the circumstances need to be raised. You feel me? The consequences need to be firing squad because, bro, the soldiers tell these constant stories of these old guys with these little boys. Then we seen people in political groups going over there to Afghanistan for these meetings, and then hiring some of the dancing boys themselves.
bro.
Why are we seeing this over and over and over? Something needs to be done about it. Put this into perspective. They found up to 100 boys in these harems where these guys who claim that they practice Islam are participating in child rape. Where is that in the Quran? So I feel like, we got to start having more accountability to these religious leaders, especially misinterpreting and changing religious rhetoric to fit their need for the use of control and oppression. I think it's all evil. I think it all boils down to these same little few entities we always hear about. Baal and Satan and the devil and demons. Because why is it that in the Bible, when these creatures are around, they say there's a sulfuric smell? In the Virginia case in South America, when those people said they seen a certain type of creature and the creature was captured by military, it gave off a sulfuric smell. So somebody has figured out how to cross over between this reality and another reality, coming over into ours and then manipulating our timeline and manipulating the shit that we got going on, bro. Everybody that we see and look at is not a flesh and blood human being like us. You feel me? That's a pure, pure, cold cut fucking fact. And that's on my granny, folks' grave. It's
Man,
it's actual evil forces walking around looking like they human beings, bro. Like we hear about it. I've had experiences. A lot of people that I speak to when I go and investigate, they've had experiences. And the only way that we gonna stand a chance is we call this stuff out. We have to call it out. We gotta hold whoever is responsible accountable, man, straight up.
right.
Because the whole dancing boy thing, like, bro, this is blatant child rape. And it's almost as if somebody is benefiting off this on like a spiritual aspect level. You feel me? Because you hear about the shadow people, man. You
Yeah,
got
and
you
I've
got
seen war stories, and people going over to Afghanistan, and they telling them, "Hey, we just can't intervene," and I'm like, "Bro, what?"
not being able to intervene is crazy, but you can drop a missile on a hospital. Like, what you mean you can't? Like, what do you mean you cannot intervene? Y'all literally over here intervening. They said they had weapons of mass destruction. So they went to intervene in the land. But when it comes to protecting children, you can't intervene. That sounds evil to me. It seems as if the trafficking of human beings and humans being used as a resource is probably too powerful because Church of Scientology helped get some of these people elected. What are they? The biggest trafficking organization that exists. People join the Church of Scientology, they live for free, but they work the rest of their life for this company without getting paid. That is trafficking. But how do they get protected? Religious statutes protect them as a religion. So they making billions every year because they have a free, literal labor force. And then people pay to join this religion, and then you work for free for the rest of your life. Bullshit. That's bullshit. Oh
Right.
man. Uphill battle, Rook. It's an uphill battle for sure.
Thanks. Cat Williams, bro. Did you see what's going on with that?
Well, I told people Cat Williams a gangster, bro. He play in the street. Just like Shaq. Shaq play in the street. There's several celebrities who play in the street. He's one of them. You feel me? He's definitely one of them. Well, last time I seen dude, I think he was hanging out a window with Suge Knight going crazy, and I know Suge almost ran somebody over in the Escalade. You feel me? That's the last time I seen. That's the last time I seen the dude in person. So they said his security killed somebody for him.
Yeah.
Whoo. Well, we might if we see Cat Williams over here in Africa with me, we know what's going on. We know what's going on. If we see pull the AntonioBrown, we know what's going on. They say A B still on the run.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, AB, what you talking about?
AntonioBrown, they charged him
Oh,
with attempted murder.
oh nah. Yeah, he's still on the run. He got a warrant out.
He got a warrant out, attempted murder. He did the race. He in Dubai, I think.
Oh, dang. Speaking about being on the run, what's his name? Can't think of his name. What Derrick Groves? He's still on the
Now,
run.
now, see, if he's smart, he done got down to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like a handsome guy, like he got his shit together. You feel me? You not gonna disappear that long unless you got some women on the outside that you operating with. Straight up and down, it's impossible. And now look, bro, I tell people all the time, you can either hide in plain sight or you can be out of sight, out of mind. Now, the benefit to him is being down in the South. There are a lot of rural areas, and there are different little settlements where groups of people show up in national parks and make their own little tent cities. You see what I'm saying? It's places you can hide. You gotta want to be gone though. The first things first is to go ghost on social media. A lot of guys we see who do the race, how do they get caught? Because of social media. He stayed completely off social media. Uh, they probably won't catch him for a long time, but he's a smart guy. Look up Darren Berg. You feel Darren Berg? He's been on the run about 8 years now. You feel me? So they got that initial window where they really have to hone all of their resources to try to catch you early, because the longer you stay gone, the harder it is for you to get located for sure. You know, it ain't no way he didn't went down. It probably didn't crossed over into Mexico for sure. Once you cross over to Mexico, you can fly out of there. A lot of ways to go ghost, bro.
Right.
Especially once you change your appearance. And then, you can pay somebody and you can pay to get a new social security number, change your appearance, go down to the DMV and get a license.
Yeah.
You you can pay somebody to get a passport, get up out of here. You feel me? It
Yep.
can be done. It can be done. It can be done. The other guy was tweaking though. He on there talking about he innocent. He getting fits off. He was he was supposed to
He was doing a
goofy.
lot.
Goofy is we in the revenge of the nerds era, man. These boys are straight dorks, bro. Great.
You seen the T Grizzly getting away with the murder? I don't know if he did or not,
Well,
but
I don't know. We don't know if he's getting away with it. You feel me? The problem is whenever you see these career street guys starting to pivot themselves into other aspects, they trying to get away from something. You feel me? We see T Grizzly do a transformation of his image. He became a married man. He stopped promoting violence online. He got into the gaming world with GTA heavily. We even seen him drive the Uber. We watched Dirk do similar things to clean up his image.
right.
Because, like I tell people, they have to tell you when you are being investigated on certain criminal levels. This situation You got to look at it, bro. A lot of these law enforcement groups are men too, bro, and they remember how they investigated you for something, then you went and bragged about it on the song. They watching you in cars that they cannot afford. They watching you do things on the internet flexing. They watching this, so they gonna grow disdain for you. Point blank. Period. Erroneously, our culture has romanticized basically murder music,
Right.
and I'll never forget in the Young Dolph situation, the people acted like a AI interface came together and pretty much had that case solved in a matter of hours.
They did.
They did. So the moment that you make something public information and you put it out there in the public, you're volunteering your story to go through this same process. The system has a fail safe in it now, and it is the people who are digesting this information. You feel me? All of the clues to all of this is on the internet. Bad move. Bad move. It's just bullshit. But everybody associated with 600, OTF, everybody who has something to do with Doug Death, but they all gone. Generations of men gone. Children, no father. It's almost as if somebody won again. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's almost like somebody won again.
Talked about young Dolph, Hernandez Govan. He was found not guilty. What's your take on
All I'm
that?
all I'm gonna say about this is this. Shout out Paper Route Woo. Everybody needs to go get that Abracadabra by Paper Route Woo. Give a real one his flowers. Because the dude Cornelius went up there telling for no reason, Govan, do not get kidnapped. All he did was go up there and tell on Woo. I know how that shit feel when you know it's money on your top. I know how that shit feel. He said it was 100,000 on Paper Route Woo head. It was 100,000 on Dolph head. They said it was 40,000 for for Glock, and it was 5,000 for Big Moochie Grape. Damn, only 5. they
Yeah.
had they had 5,000 on Big Moochie Grape. Damn. So that go to show you what type of guy Paper Route Woo was in the street. So dude Cornelius said, "Yeah, I went over there outside Paper Route Woo house. They get the call Paper Route Woo at his crib. So y'all got people watching this man, plotting on his death, and then he said Paper Route Woo came out the door. He had his gun in his hand. That lets you know what type of man Paper Route Woo is, bro. You feel me? He not playing with this shit. It's belt to ass time. It's belt to ass time. Folks grade. On insane, bro. When it's that time, it's that time. It ain't no play. It ain't no oh my God. No, it's straight monster mode. You feel me? And I respect that. Because when you know it's on and you got people who love you, it's your job to make it back to them. And you if you signed up for this, so then the dude go Van, he thought he was finna get booked. The feds might be coming after this though. You feel me? The feds might be coming because I seen the stress on Govan's face. Some of that shit Cornelius was saying was the truth. So it's like, damn, he was mad. He said, damn, y'all went over there with no mask on. This is why you don't hire junkies to do hits. The man was trying to get some more perks. That's all he could think about. He crashing out about it. You feel me? This shit. Shout out Paper Route Rule. Fuck her dad go on, bro. Like, I fuck with Dolph. Like one of my first shows I ever did. You feel me? I was on the flyer, opened up for that man. You feel me? Shout out to Dolph, bro. Like, cause ain't nobody to replace him. All of them people that man held, all the properties he got, he owned down there, to get killed by nobody. Shit, over trying to get some cookies is crazy work on the guys. That type of shit just make you mad, bro. So shout out Paper Route Woo. Y'all got to get Paper Route Woo on here, man. I'm gonna try to set that up.
Yeah,
That's
set
who
that up
y'all
for us.
got.
We gotta talk to him.
They need to talk to Paper Route Woo, bro. I know how that shit feel, and I done been there when niggas came to collect that bag. I know what that's like having to shoot through the door. I know what that's like when it's like, damn, it's either me or you. You feel me? Man, I popped the motherfucker. I seen him asking me to call the ambulance. Like, dude, what? And it be them type of guys, bro. That's why that dude Cornelius, scum of the earth, piece of garbage, for sure, bro. He said Paper Rabu had his blick in his hand. He came out the door on the gas. That's how dude got taught us. That's how turn up guy. They said you gotta have that motherfucker up. You gotta have it up. It ain't no pulling it out, cocking it like this. The movies, boy, watch out. When you come outside, it's gotta be in your hand and up and ready to go. Pop out, blow. Phone now. I miss my. It used to go down. It used to go down. It used to go down, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I seen niggas get snatched out of wheelchairs before. Damn, pistol in his face, everything. Damn. What time is it, man? How long we been going? Cause
We've
the
been about hour and four.
okay. Cause I know the power be cutting off every day around the same time for like an hour. I don't want that shit to cut off on me.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, cause I know there's
Okay.
the lights go out every night.
All right. Let's end it. Let's see what we want to talk about. One more thing. Young Thug snitching. We'll do that. Okay. And we'll leave it like that.
Now,
All right.
Russ, if you pay attention, all of this shit boils down to zestology. Because this is why in the Bible God got mad and let off a scream and started turning niggas into stone. He turned the whole cities into stone with Sodom and Gomorrah because niggas is out of control, zesty. Now think about this. We just seen them little guys in Atlanta pop out with their dresses on, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Who inspired that? Young Thug is the Atlanta guy that was walking around in dresses, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was the one calling Rich Homie Quan his hubby, painting his fingernails and doing all of this type of shit. Then we see Woody come out saying, man, Pee Wee, remember when you told Thug you was piping down the transvest? Thug is in a leadership role. Obviously, ain't no problem for him. Then what did the man do? He was coming at he was calling his album the Barter Six. What? He coming at Wayne. Then he started getting into it with Future. Him and Future able to mingle that relationship. You feel me? Not mingle, damn. They was able to save the friendship. You feel me? Then this man criticized Gunna, who is not no street dude. He was already on Crime Stoppers. Gunna was on Crime Stoppers. He was on Crime Stoppers. Why is y'all holding Gunna to these standards, man? That man not getting wild. He not doing no type of okay. Then look at this man legacy now. He turned everybody against each other. He convinced the young niggas to put on dresses. Wasn't he powered by Leora Cohen?
Mm.
Where's he from? What's his nationality? It all boiled down to the same group of people. Paramount owns BET. The chairman of Paramount is a little blonde haired lady who's a
Crazy.
Jewish woman. The same people who rebranded him from Jeffrey back to Young Thug. What is he? He's a Jewish guy. It's the same things over. Look how much destruction this one guy have caused for him and his people. And that ain't suspicious to nobody. Come on, man. The zest apocalypse out there. Ain't no way. It ain't no way a man in a dress can tell me to do anything. Fuck out of here, boy. Bro, the
I'm
guys would have rolled him right then and there. As soon as he stepped up in that drug, they would have just rolled his ass. Wow. Hands and feet. Crazy work, man.
well, we gonna leave it at that, bro. And get
Salute
out of
to you,
here, man.
brother. Salute to you, brother.
Man, we're gonna talk. We're gonna pick this up though, bro. But
Yeah,
you already
yeah,
know. You already know what it is, bro.
yeah. I'm running
Big
up, man.
homie.
I'm running this. I'm running this a fire sale right now, man. Whatever you want
Right,
to,
right,
whatever
right,
you
right.
do, let's get it. Shout out Reallyfe.
All right. Well, we'll see you in just a second, bro.
I bet, bro.
Bet.